Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of today's newsletter is going to be, can I get out of friend zone? Well, I've got 3 emails from 3 different viewers. And before we get into the first email, I got a quote that I wrote on this topic that I want to share with you, because it's kind of what I see the general theme here that these guys are dealing with, plus a lot of the phone sessions I did today. And it's just always fascinating to me how the universe works, and it always seems to bring along the exact right circumstance or person in our life, especially when we have a weakness that we're trying to overcome. And it's like either that same person will continue to show up in our life, or similar people and similar circumstances continually show up in our life. And the goal is for us to grow into a stronger person, because once we grow into a stronger person and we no longer let those people or those circumstances affect us the same way that they once did, we're able to move past them and grow into the fullness of who we're supposed to be, so we can take that next step and meet a better lover or a better friend or group of friends, or have a better job or a better career or a better opportunity, whatever it happens to be that we're looking for. And so the quote says, life tends to bring us exactly the right circumstances and people to help us take our lives to the next level. If you have a weakness you still need to overcome, people and circumstances will continually come into your life until you start consistently making the right choices. Every person and every event in your life prepares you to successfully navigate to becoming a better version of yourself. Once you have become that better version, you then are vibrationally aligned and in harmony with a better job, friends, lovers, circumstances, etc., so they will stick around and give you the life you are intending and dreaming about. Everything happens for a reason in life. There are no accidents. The more you are open to seeing and finding the gift in every experience, the more your life will effortlessly unfold to your liking and according to your desires. So let's jump into the first guy's email. He says, hey coach, first off I want to thank you for all of this valuable information. I'd still totally be in the dark being 25 and not knowing how to interact with women if it wasn't for you. But anyway, here's something that happened last night and I'm trying to figure out what's going on. So I've really liked this girl for almost 3 years. 3 years. She was my ex-girlfriend's best friend, and at the time, my girlfriend and I were still dating. He says, I know it's not great on the morality scale, but sue me. Hey, it happens. He says, but the problem is she was dating another guy at the time while I was still with my girlfriend, and so the reality of me and her dating or seeing each other was 0. He says, but about 5 months ago, they broke up, and so did my girlfriend and I. What a coinky-dink. So both me and this girl found ourselves single. Bonus. Sounds like an opportunity. It's like Confucius said, success depends, or it's luck is a matter of preparation meeting opportunity. I don't think it was Confucius that said it. I can't remember who said it, but it's a good quote. He said, I had been getting texts from her telling me how awesome I was and how she wanted to be with me. All that textbook stuff. Well, that's a good sign. Sounds like she was definitely interested in you, at least at that particular time. The part where I messed up is I reciprocated by telling her how amazing she was and kissing her ass. Well, there's nothing wrong with telling her how amazing she is, but when you start kissing her ass and being ultra compliant and a wussy, then she starts to realize that you don't have a spine and you don't act like a man. And then her attraction level is going to drop, and her testing is going to increase. In other words, testing your strength to see what you're really made of. He says, I was kissing her ass and just overall acting weak, thinking that would get her to like me. In other words, you made the mistaken assumption that if she knew how much you liked her, that she would reciprocate. He says, this was before I found your work, obviously. So we started hanging out and whenever I tried to make a move on her, she would turn away. Not even a kiss. Why, you don't keep hanging out with somebody when they keep giving you the cheek. I had a client that I did a phone session with today, and he went out with a girl twice. Same thing. She kept giving him the cheek. It's like, the person's either structured, in other words, they've got a bunch of rules that they're living by, they're not being authentic, they're not following their heart. And it's like what I told him is like, don't call or text her anymore. And I said, if she really likes you romantically, she'll reach out, because it sounds like they were having a really good time, but there were moments when he was with her, he was kind of acting weak and he was not making a move at the appropriate time. But at the end of the date, on 2 separate occasions, he went to kiss her and she gave him the cheek both times. So it's like, why? Think about it. If you had 3 or 4 other girls you were hooking up with and are blowing up your phone going, oh, I miss you, I can't wait to see you, I want you deep inside me again, saying things, texting you stuff like that, and then you got this other girl you've been out with a couple times, you go to kiss her and she gives you the cheek, you're spending time and money on her? Why? A guy who has lots of options is not going to call that girl again who gives him the cheek. There are women that will go out with you, that will go out on dates with you and be happy to let you spend your money on them, and that's how they'll always treat you, is they'll give you the cheek and they'll blow enough sunshine up your ass to make you think you got a chance romantically, but yet it never goes anywhere. When women treat you that way, you walk away. Don't stick around when someone doesn't give you what you want. That's a huge mistake. And that's a big part of the mistake that this guy is making. He says she kept telling me that she wasn't ready and she was still in love with her ex, which was really annoying. But the bottom line is, she wasn't kissing you back. All the other bullshit or the excuses, oh, no sex before marriage, or whatever her excuse happens to be. Bottom line is that the goals and the values aren't aligned. If her goals and values were aligned with yours and she was down with that kind of thing, she wouldn't have a problem with it. Because otherwise, all that's really happening here is you're acting like friends. You're just buddies. He says, so after about a month of this, I got frustrated and we both decided to stop hanging out. She wanted to just be friends and go back to the way things were, but at this point, I had been watching your videos. Awesome. And knew to at least say that I didn't want to be just friends, but to get in contact with me if she ever changed her mind. Nice job, dude. You stood up for yourself. He says she got really upset, not because she wanted to be friends, but because I sort of took the power back. That's my interpretation anyways. But before that, the ball was kind of in their court every step of the way, and now it got taken away. Forgive my cynicism. Dude, you did the right fucking thing. He says, so that's where it ended, and I was kind of bummed about it for a while, but I eventually got over it, just assuming I was never going to hear from her. That's all you can really do. Then about a month ago, I ran into her at our old place of work, and we talked for a bit, just like we were back when we were friends. No discussion about what happened, by the way. He says, I left, and then the next day, I got a text from her saying how she cares about me and how good it was to see me. I just assumed it was her saying that so I would become her friend again and to see if I was over everything. So I just responded telling her that she's a great girl and that she's going to make some guy really happy one day. He says, I got no response. But then last night, about 1 month after the last text interaction, I get a text from her saying that she saw that I was starting a recording studio on Facebook and says she wanted to come check it out. She's putting herself into your orbit. That's interesting. Something to think about. I did break the rules a little bit by having a funny short conversation with her, going over some of our old inside jokes, but that was it. Well, I would have said, you know what? That sounds like a great idea. I'm happy to give you a personal tour. Why don't you grab a bottle of wine and come on over and we can hang out and catch up. Love to see you and look in those pretty eyes of yours again. So he says, no relationship talk, but my question is that her just reaching out to me to only try to be my friend, or is it her trying to start something more again? Well, you stated your purpose, which was, I'm not interested in friendship only. And then you walked away. You were congruent with that statement. And then when she reached out the day after when you saw her again, you just assumed that her interest was friendship. She didn't mention anything about romance. And now she's like, oh, I want to come over and see your new studio. She wants to be around you. So assume it's in a romantic way. And at the end of the day, originally when you guys knew one another, she had romantic feelings for you. She was attracted to you. So now you've stood up to her and you've cut out all that bullshit weak behavior that you were exhibiting in the past. So he continues on. I did tell her not to contact me unless she changed her mind. I'm just not really sure how to read this. Well, what I would do is I would just invite her to say, hey, you know what? Grab a bottle of wine and come on over and I'll show you my studio. We can hang out and maybe we'll get some takeout food or something. And then at some point, when you're sitting there and she's flipping her hair around and her knees bumping yours, you can say, I think you need to get it over with and kiss me right now. And if she throws that friendship crap in your face, you say, look, I told you I'm not interested in being friends only. I like you. I want you. But I'm not interested in just being friends. And so you coming over here, it's like you knew I'm not interested in friendship. So if you're only interested in platonic friendship, then it's probably better that you take off and leave. But if you want to explore something more, then you need to bring those beautiful lips over here and kiss me right now. That's what I would say. That's what I would do. That's how I would handle it if I were you, my friend. But at least you had the balls to walk away. And what I like about this is that she actually asked to be around you. So that is a good sign. She, in essence, invited herself to come over. So let's get into the second guy's email. He says, hey, Corey, thanks for all of your help and giving of yourself freely to others. Well, it's my purpose, dude. It is just what I do. Surely that's what we're here to do as human beings. Well, we all have some kind of gift to give. He says, I've been in a long-distance relationship with a girl now going on 8 months. And prior to that, we were in touch for over a year. She used to live in Australia, and I met her through my then girlfriend, and we hit it off instantly. You know when you meet a woman and it feels like home? Yep. Best feeling. You're supposed to meet that person. When somebody comes into your life and you have that feeling like you've kind of always known them, that's not an accident. That's not a just, what a coincidence. I have found that there is no such thing. Everything happens for a reason. She moved back to South Africa after breaking up with her then boyfriend, and then to Germany for work. Last year I was living in London for 7 months and we started seeing each other. It was amazing, but I messed up by acting like a jerk. I didn't wear a condom a number of times, which caused her a lot of anxiety. And this caused her to lose trust in me, and honestly, if I had acted like a man in this department, then I don't think we would have ever broken up in the first place, and I would have never left Europe. I've since taken complete ownership of it and understand that it was my responsibility, and then I returned home to Australia for the past 8 months, or 8 months ago, and since that time, we've never been out of contact. When a woman breaks up with you, you don't continue contacting her, ever, period. She unilaterally changed the terms of your relationship. And as a self-respecting and self-loving man who has lots of options, you're just not going to stick around for that BS. He says, our communication has been very open, more so than any other girl that I've ever been with, and we've been in a non-physical yet very close relationship. In other words, you're just friends. You're virtual pen pals. I asked her to come out to work for a company I've set up, and originally she said yes, however, she became unsure. So in other words, you're using a job as a bribe for sex in relationship. Come on, man. Bad way to go, dude. She's been out before for a man, and it didn't work out, and she doesn't want to lose the work contacts that she's made in Europe and come here on a temporary visa. He says, I understand all that, and she works in the industry a lot, and she also comes over to my country a lot. Yet I love this woman, and we built such a strong bond over the years. He says, I over-pursued her a bit. I'd say that's probably an understatement. And she pulled back since then. I've sent her an email telling her that if she wants to meet up anywhere in the world, I'd love to see her, but otherwise I need to let it go. She pretty much ignored this and is still in contact. I never initiated, however, I always respond with love but keep it short. My question is, in this unique circumstance of distance, do I tell her flatly, never contact me unless it's to meet up, or is it better to maintain a slow level of contact? Well, if she gets in touch with you, you should assume it's because she wants to see you. And then after you talk for a little while, just say, hey, why don't you get on a plane and come over and visit me? And if she gives you this friendship crap, then you got to say, look, like I told you 8 months ago, I'm not interested in just being friends. So if you'd love to see me, then come over and let's spend some time together. The problem is you say that, but then you continue to act like her emotional tampon, and it never goes anywhere. And you're probably drooling all over her on Skype and on the telephone when you're talking all the time. So you say you're interested in romance, but you're constantly acting like just a friend. And that's why you're not getting anywhere. You're not standing up for yourself. He says, I know by being around her, it gives her the security to then move. Well, that's part of the problem. It's like that, the job and the move and all that stuff, that's the kind of shit that you talk about when she's head over heels in love with you and wants to be with you all the time. When she's like, where do you see this going? Well, why don't you move over here? You can come work for this company of mine. That's when you bring that up. It's like you don't bring that up ahead of time with somebody that you're just friends with. It's like that's putting you don't go out on a first date and go, hey, you want to have a relationship with me? Hey, you want to marry me? That's gonna freak a girl out, dude. It takes time. Create an opportunity for sex to happen. That's what a date is. Hang out, have fun, and hook up. He says, I know by being around her, it gives her the security to move, and yet if I tell her not to contact me, I feel it doesn't allow her to feel me in her life. Lastly, her work contract is finished in November, and if she doesn't find more work, then she'll be headed back home. I kind of feel like I just need to wait her out. I know you say she's not making me a priority, but I understand her fear of packing up her life and moving for a man again. He says, P.S. I can't move right now as I have my new company, which is killing it, so it's just practical for her to come here for the moment as I can support her. Like I said, dude, all you need to really focus on is creating an opportunity for sex to happen. In other words, make a date. Get her to hop on a plane and come over and see you. And if she tries to stick you in friend zone, say, look, I'm not interested in that. We need to go our separate ways. The problem is you say one thing and then you do another. You say you're not interested in being friends, but yet you continue to act like just a friend. So you're sending the girl mixed signals. What do you expect, dude? Trying to bribe her with a job position to get her to come and be with you, thinking that you'll get her to fall in love with you when you do it that way, is a wrong fucking way to go. It's a bribe. It's a bribe for a relationship. The job is a bribe for a relationship and sex. It's the wrong way to go about it. That's approval-seeking behavior, and that's something only a weak guy would do. Like I said, if she reaches out, invite her to come see you, spend a weekend together, or a few days, or a week, whatever it happens to be. And if she says no, you just say, look, I really want you and I desire you, but I can't do this friends-only thing. This just doesn't work for me. So if you ever change your mind and you want to come visit, call me, we'll talk about it, book a ticket, send me your itinerary, and I'll pick you up at the airport. That's how you handle it, dude. So let's move on to the third and final email. This guy says, hey, Coach, thanks for your work. You're really a master of this art. It does work, and I will like to get your help. I'm in a situation that I'm in. Here's the jam I'm in. My ex-girlfriend and mother of my daughter recently moved back in with me after her ex-boyfriend and her broke up. She broke up with me 2 years ago after she realized she had lost all feelings for me. If there were any to begin with, he puts in parentheses. We were together for 6 years, and we never really dated seriously before she got pregnant. We were just fuck buddies that happened to be roommates. One drunken night, my condom broke. In other words, you snuck one past the goalie. And along came a beautiful little girl who is the joy of my life. Kids are fucking awesome. He says, we decided to formalize our relationship and stick it out. Stick it out? Oh, we're just sticking it out. Why not? Oh, we can't stand to be apart. We fucking love each other. We're crazy about one another. We make love all the time. We have the best time together. That's why you should be together, not just because you had a kid. Do you want your baby girl to grow up and just stick it out with some guy? Is that something you'd be proud of as a father? I think not. He says, I went to graduate school, got a job, and started taking care of my family. However, in the back of my mind was always the idea that she was going to leave me, since she always told me that I was not the man she was waiting for. In the fear of losing her, I became a pleaser. I did end up falling for her, but the fact that she constantly reinforced I wasn't the one for her made me feel insecure throughout the relationship. In the last few years, our sex life went south. She never wanted to have sex and always blamed it on her depression. In other words, she just didn't want to fuck you, dude. She wasn't feeling it because you were acting weak and you were acting like a pleaser. You weren't acting like a man. You were acting like the head of the household. And you were in a constant state of fear, which tells me you were probably pursuing her and calling her and texting her and kissing her ass, expecting her to be the man in the relationship. Hey, what do you want to do this weekend? And she goes, I don't know. What do you want to do? I don't know, honey. What do you want to do? We can go to this place. We can go to that place. Or we can go to this place. What do you want to do? Women don't want to make the decisions. They want you to figure something out fun to do and invite them to join you. One day she told me she saw me more as a friend and a family than a lover. She decided to call it quits a few months later. About a year into it, she meets this other dude. They dated for 8 months. She broke it off with him recently. For the sound of it, he's getting really needy and clingy, besides the fact that he's very insecure with her. Well, I know you said you're reading my work and following it, but the bottom line is you moved this girl back in with you. Why? Because you're probably figuring, hey, if she's living under my roof, we can get back together. Bad way to go, dude. She's always complaining about him. I still think they are seeing each other, and we always have remained flirty with each other, but it never culminated in actual sex. As time progressed, I picked myself up and moved on with my life. I have met some fucking amazing women during this time. Smart, sexy, and women that were into me. Great. Have some dates at your house. Have them come over for a nice, quiet evening. Hang out, have fun, and hook up. Make dinner together, have some wine. And tell your girlfriend, say, hey, I got a date tonight. Would you mind, hanging out in your room so she and I can have some dinner? That'd be really cool. That's what you should do. That's what I would tell her. Have some of these other women that you're hooking up with come over. Make dinner. He says, I made some great friends and focused my energy on my career and my daughter. I learned a lot by watching your video series and regarding your book in my attempts to become a 3% man. Fast forward to today. She's been living in my house for a month already. I'm still very sexually attracted to her. She still likes to come over and sleep in my bed, parade around in her underwear in front of me, and cuddle, but when I hint of sex again, she rejects me and says, no, why are you horny all the time? This might be sexual harassment. It's like, well, you coming around prancing around in my room is sexual torture. So you got two choices. Either get naked and let's fuck like rabbits like we used to, or get your little ass out of here, put some clothes on, and don't ever parade around to me again, and don't come and sleep in my bed. I'm not interested in being your friend. I'm not interested in being your gay male girlfriend. If she comes and lays down in your bed, then fucking kiss her and start making out with her. Just go for it. Think about it. It's like she's coming next to you and you're acting like the prude, like you're waiting for her to be the man. This is the same kind of behavior. Remember what I talked about in the quote? About how the universe keeps bringing people back. The universe has brought this woman back into your life. She's in your bed. She's prancing around in skimpy clothing, almost naked in front of you. And yet you wait for her to be the man and make the move. And instead of making a move and going for it, you tell her to have sex with you. It's like, come on, dude. Just fucking go for it. My reply is, well, you come to my bed. It's not my fault if you get poked in the back by my toy gun. I try to keep it playful and walk away when I get rejected. However, I do not know at this point in my few attempts I'm starting to look desperate. Her living in my house is temporary until she finds a place, but in the meantime, I would like to hook up with her and maybe get some closure. What should I do, Coach? Should I keep the playful sexual innuendos and flirt? Well, why not? You treat all women the same. Should I walk away? Should I just stop before I creep her out? It's like, it's your fucking house, dude. It's your castle. You shouldn't be ashamed of your sexuality. If she doesn't like it, just say, well, stop prancing around here half naked. Stop coming in my bed and rubbing your cute little ass on my dick. What do you expect when it gets hard? It's like, hello? So there's no reason that you're going to see her because she's at your house, but next time she comes into your bed, just fucking kiss her. If you're laying there and you're looking at each other, just grab her and fucking pull her over to you and kiss her. Start making out. You've had sex with this woman. I mean, you were with her for 6 years, dude. You probably had sex with her thousands of times, hopefully. Or at least hundreds of times at this point. So it's not like you forgot what it was like having sex with her. And if she, gives you that friends thing, I'm going to say, you know what? Then you need to stop coming into my bed. You need to stop walking around the house naked in front of me because it's fucking torturing me and I don't like it. And start inviting some of these other women over to your house that you've been hooking up with. And maybe then she'll say something about it. But like I said, I wouldn't pursue it. There's nothing you can really do at this particular point. If she throws a friendship thing in your face and say, you know what, it's great that you've been here for a month, but I need some privacy because of the women I'm dating. I want some alone time with them. It's kind of hard when you get your ex-girlfriend, walking around in her underwear. It's kind of weird. So if you're not interested in anything romantic, then it's time for you've been here for a month, time for you to get your own place and move on out. So, like I said, what I see, the overall theme of your email is that you're just not standing up for yourself. You're not, I mean, she's laying in your bed, dude, and you're not making a move on her. It's like you're basically talking to her and telling her to seduce you. She's in your bed, bro. Make a fucking move. What do you want her to do? Take all her clothes off and say, okay, I'm ready to be fucked now? It's like you're too timid, you're too shy, you're too worried about rejection. Stop talking about it and make a move when she gets that close to you. And if she rejects you, tell her to stop sleeping in your bed. Tell her to stop prancing around in her underwear. And tell her when is she going to get her crap, get a new place, and move out. Because it's like this is torture for you. And then on top of that, start inviting some of these other women over that you're dating and hooking up with. And have a date at your house. That will resolve things really fast, I promise you. So if you'd like to get my help personally, the quickest way is to book a paid phone, Skype, or email coaching session. You can choose any of those options by going to my website, clicking the products tab at the top of your screen, and just follow the instructions. And I will talk to you soon.